Hello, people, here on TikTok, YouTube, or Facebook, which one you're coming from. My name is Miss Alicia Casey. I'm here today to talk about a discovery I discovered here in the United States. I'm actually here in Manchester, New Hampshire. Um, give you a little history about myself. Back in my earlier days, um, from junior high to high school days, I've done acting and standing in roles in plays in school during junior high and all the way up to high school, and read in college. In college, I did 4 years of drama and dramatic arts, introduction to drama and dramatic arts, and play production. I did this for 4 years. I know you don't earn a good degree in 4 years, but it's something that I want to pursue because, after all, I wanted to make sure I get enough underneath my belt before I actually started going into showbiz, you know? So my 4th year, during my 3rd and 4th year, I met up with an agent that actually came and watched me at the college in some of the plays and stuff we've done. And he said, "You're very good, and I'd like to represent you." I told him at the time I wasn't interested yet. And like I said, I still wanted to finish 4 years. Even though, like I said, you don't need it, but I wanted to. Because after all, during that time, my idol was Keanu Reeves. He's always been my idol. I wanted to be where he was at. So, like I said, during my 3rd and 4th year, he always kept coming back, asking me, "You sure? You sure?" "Yes, I'm sure." And anyways, even when I'm up there acting or on a stage, I liked watching people. I like to watch the reaction when you're creating this play and watching their faces, the oohs, the ahs, the capture of what we're doing up here on stage, as well as even if doing TV videos or TV series. Because after all, this is where it's going to get to afterwards here. Because after all, after college, like I said, I decided to take the agent up on his offer since he did come see me in my 3rd and 4th year. And whenever you're up there on stage, you can look at the audience and, you can see the expressions in people's faces. And at that time, I can always see he's out there. So, man, he's really watching me. He really wants me to represent me. So anyways, during my final year, he actually came and asked me again, "Do you want me? I'd like to be your agent. I'd like to represent you." I said, "Okay, let's go for it." He introduced me to Lydia called Backgrounds in San Diego. It's a TV production. And her name was Tina Real back in the 90s. And so anyways, some of the TV programs we did, I've only done stand-ins. I never had any really big parts, Never really did get my big break. But during my time working with Background San Diego, yeah, we did some small stand-ins in Renegade, Silk Stockings, Vanishing Sun, Running Dragon. These TV shows went off the air back in the mid-90s because due to the ratings and the budget cuts. So yeah, they decided to let us go. And I felt very badly because I thought I was going to be right up there where I can meet Keanu soon. And it didn't happen. So anyways, I went further on doing my other goal, which is my other career is security, bodyguard, investigations. And, I worked my way up the ladder, just like in any job you would. I started off as a standing post or patrolling or field supervisor. And then I worked my way up to doing bodyguard work. Yes, I've done some. Read into investigations. And I've done a lot of investigations. I've worked for the state, against the state, with the government, against the government, for private individuals. You know, it all depends whoever hires you when you're an investigator around the table. You know, if somebody comes in the office, they want to hire you. My job is, even as a security, bodyguard, or an investigator, you know, I work for you. I represent you. Now, in bodyguard and in security, yeah, we took up an oath. We took the oath as to protect and prevent. Now, it's different than law enforcement. Law enforcement, you're out there to protect and serve. When you're working as security or bodyguards, we work for you. We work for the company. We represent the company. But also, again, even as a law enforcement or security or an investigator or bodyguard, you know, we cannot lie. Cannot lie, because if after all, we have to get up in that witness stand, we have to go for you or protect you or what we represent, we cannot lie. After all, you took that oath, you know, just like a police officer would take or a bodyguard would take. You know, you take that oath. And I had retired also in the late 90s from doing investigations work. Now, during my days, as you can see, I got 2 flags up in the back of me here. One of them is for me. The other one is for whatever. I'm not prejudiced against anybody. I represent everybody. You know, I believe in anybody. As long as you be honest, we're all honest. That's all that matters. And what I'm going to share with you today is laws in our country. Laws that I found to be true. These are broken, unforced, uncontrolled, unprotected laws. And it took me 4 years to investigate what I've done. But during the time, I was also a client of a surgeon doctor. A surgeon doctor I went to go see. He does cosmetics stuff, you know. And it doesn't matter if you're a cis person, you're a transgender, or whatever. These laws that I'm going to talk about pertain to anybody, you know. And these are all of our rights. And I've done so much research on this, but it's going to go back to where it all started, was 3 to 4 years ago when I had breast augmentation done. Now, you know, when you go see a surgeon doctor, you go for your consultation. And he discussed with you what you can do and what you can't do. And he also discussed what you like done and how the procedure is going to go. And at the time, when we talked about my breast augmentation, he said, yes, I've been doing this for quite a while. I can do this for you. So he knows all my measurements. He got them. He figured out the size I wanted. Okay, fine. Boom. So now we're ready to get into it, into the surgery. And you would think the day of surgery, when you're underneath the knife, and the doctor is supposed to be doing what he's supposed to be doing to put these implants in you. Either way, you know he knows up here what you want done and how it's supposed to look. You know, after all, they visualize all this. They study this before they get you in there onto that operating table. And you would think when you're underneath the knife, if it's not looking right, it's not coming out right, it's the shape, the size, whatever, you would think standard protocol would be, stop. I can't do this. I don't want to mess this person up. We're going to have to figure out some other way to make her happy. Let's go ahead and send her back to recovery and discuss this when she's more coherent. It's the proper procedures. And anyways, then when you're coherent, he would discuss with you or she would discuss with you When I was doing this, it couldn't be done the way you want to be done. This is the way it can be done, and it'll look all right for now until later on. And if you decide you want to come back and redo it, that's up to you. Other than that, for what I'm telling you, you either like what I'm saying or go find yourself another doctor. Well, here in my state, New Hampshire, there are only 2 doctors that can do these surgeries. Again, especially when you're a transgender, gay, lesbian, whatever, it don't matter, man. Even if you're a cis person, what I need done, there's only 2 surgeons in my area. And one of them barely even did this. Not even right. And like I said, I give you an example of what not to do and what should have been done is you should have stopped. Okay? Should have stopped. Sent me back to recovery. Gave me my options, but you didn't do that. That's the first protocol. I'm going to give you another one and another example. How many times have we all been to a hospital or a clinic or something like Quest Diagnostics where you got to go for labs, or even to the emergency room? Even if you're going to get an IV in either arm, whatever, either drawing blood or sticking an IV, come on, if they cannot get it in either arm, protocol says to stop. Go grab somebody else. Say, hey, look, I'm having a hard time sticking this person, either drawing blood or sticking an IV. Since I'm having a hard time hitting that vein, could you do this for me? That's a second protocol, people. Now, I know we all had to hear, at least in emergency rooms. Come on, you can hear what's on the other side of that curtain. We're all no dummy. Come on, you can hear what's going on. This is a big emergency room. You can hear past these curtains. All they are is curtains. You can hear what's going on. And I'm sure we all heard it. Because this is where it's going to get sticky now. Because you would think what he did here was medical malpractice. It's a form of it, okay? The form of medical malpractice that all these lawyers all practice are, did the doctor hurt you? And if so, how bad did he hurt you? Well, in this case here where it's cosmetic, it's a form of it, but these lawyers, all of them, and I had to call every bar in the United States, in all 50 states, and then some, just to figure out how these laws are going to be protected, and nobody's protecting them, even underneath the cosmetic law. And that is wrong, people. Because after all, if, they're going to tell you, these lawyers, they're going to tell you it's hard to fight it. It's hard to fight it. We can't. I said, man, I even gave him an example of both protocols that I discussed with you here about underneath the knife, and it's not looking right, send him back to recovery. Give him that option. But they didn't give him that option. And then the other option is, when you're having blood taken or IV stuck in you. And I discussed with these attorneys. I said, my job as an investigator is to help you guys prepare for court. And that's the honest God's truth. And I said, what I've got here, I've got a lot of evidence, and it's going to point straight to this doctor not doing his job correctly. And then, since there are 2 doctors, like I was saying, that in this state that can do these surgeries, one of them barely knows how to do his job. The other one, you might as well just say he's a master carpenter, because after all, he can do all these surgeries I want done. He can do the facial feminization. He can do the breast augmentation. He can do vaginal. But, come on, people. And when that master carpenter / the master surgeon, I would call him the master surgeon because he got all these skills. And according to my findings later on, trying to figure out all this out in bodily broken laws, and then when I'm also finding out from different surgeons, it's not good to have all that skill underneath one belt to do all these surgeries like he knows how to do. That's not good. No wonder he is so busy over there. And I'm going to tell you the honest God's truth now, because it's been a while. I got barred from going back down to Lebanon to Dr. Hitchcock in Lebanon, New Hampshire, because I filed a complaint. I filed a complaint with the bar against the doctors in the doctor's licensing. I filed one against with the it's almost like a Department of Justice, but it's for doctors, for the doctor's licensing. Because after all, they got to look into it and make the decision. It's on the top of my head, but it's almost like a Justice Peace Office, but it's for all doctors and for all hospitals. Because after all, this is where you go and complain to. If the hospital is doing something wrong, you go to the review board for all hospitals. That's where I contacted. And they had to contact down to the hospital and say, hey, why are you denying this person? And like I said, where the head guy, the head surgeon, overheard that I made a complaint about his colleague, and since they work in the same office, it's the same officer, same hospital, the same clinic, side by side in the same office, he decided he didn't want to help me. Because after all, he's trying to say, I don't want to be like him. I don't want these. And come on, people. If you guys know, you guys, the only two doctors in this state that could do these surgeries, you guys just denied me and deprived me of my medical rights. Do you understand what I'm saying, people? Because after all, I need these surgeries done. And I can't go nowhere else. It's not like I can go to Boston or Connecticut or whatever. My insurance, even though I got Medicare is my primary. Medicare, yeah, you can go anywhere, but I also need the state one to help me out, because one is going to pay for all of it, which is my Medicare. The only thing is that they don't pay for is the doctor visits and, the doctor fees. That's where I need the state to pay that one. And that's why in my state, we got 3 of them. You got AmeriHealth, you got WellSense, and then you got People's Choice. Those are only for here in New Hampshire. And those are the state Medicaid that covers people for low income. Well, these 3 insurance cannot go to another state. They're not supposed to, unless if it's an absolutely medical emergency. Like in my brother's case, my brother's over there in Massachusetts right now because he had an aneurysm, and then on top of that, also had a really bad stroke. So yeah, his was a really medical necessary need that he needs to be over there in Mass. So after all, they had to fly him from New Hampshire to Massachusetts. So you can see where I'm getting at. So yes. Since this surgery, if you would have paid out of pocket for breast augmentation, it'd have cost you anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000, maybe the top $6,000. It all depends where you go and what kind of implants you had done. And like I said, that's what it would pay for. So if you were going to sue the doctor, that would be a civil suit because you paid cash. Well, in my case, not only cash, but insurance/government money was paid this. And it was wrong. So it's not a civil suit no more. This makes it a civil federal suit. The reason why I know this, man, because I had to go through a long process because I figured out you can't sue for civil. There's no lawyers on that. And when I got up to a civil federal, that's where I had to go higher into politics because this was used insurance/government money. So now it's a different ball game. So now it's a civil federal. And I had to go in front, contact our congressman, Chris Pappas. Sorry about it, but the guy over there, people over there in the office are stuck on stupid. I don't know. But these people over there, they're going to ask you all the time, well, what's your evidence? What's your evidence? Did you do this, do that? Man, I've done my research. I've done everything I could possibly known to man. I've called GLAAD. I've called PFLAG. I've contacted the UC, CUL or ULC, whatever it is. It's not an organization that's supposed to help out people that's getting denied medical. And they couldn't even help me. The UCLA or ULC or whatever that is, they couldn't even touch this because it's federal. That's why I had to also contact 2 senators. Both were federal. Senator Shaheen and Senator Hess. They got stumped on this when I also explained to them everything I've known to man. Every organization I've done, I've contacted everything. It stumped them. Back to where they had to refer me to the governor, Governor Sununu of New Hampshire. He's our governor. Now, when it comes down to the governor versus the president, the governor is for your area only for your state. He doesn't represent any other states, only the state you represent in. Well, in mine, we got a governor, and that's Governor Sununu. Now, the difference between the governor, and the president, again, the governor is only for our state. He only represents the state. So, yes, he helps make the laws and make sure they're all passed in our state. The president is for our nations. So, therefore, if the governor couldn't do his job, you'd have to call the president down here and get them involved because, after all, the governor cannot do his job. Now, since I was introduced to the governor between both senators, Senator Shaheen and Senator Hess, they refer me to Governor Sununu. Well, Governor Sununu had to call over there to the State Department, which is the Department of Health and Human Services, to the head office in Concord. Because after all, that's the state capital. That's where all the state offices are. They had to grab somebody from there, from the state office. Because after all, when I got denied medical, I even had to go through the Department of Health and Human Services to file a claim. Because after all, my rights were denied. I was denied medical. So between the governor and somebody from the state office, and they had to grab somebody from my insurance, since it represents my insurance, I have United Healthcare and AmeriHealth. AmeriHealth represents the state of New Hampshire. So between the governor, Governor Sununu, somebody from the state office, and my state insurance, had to go to Boston to sign a contract for one person so I can go over there and get help. And this is where it's going to go against your constitutional rights now. Is after all, if you have to go out of area or out of state just to go get medical help in another place, that is wrong. You know there's a problem. There is a problem, people, because you shouldn't have to do that. I should be able to get services right here in New Hampshire. I shouldn't have to go to another state or another country. You can see where this is getting into now. So, since I now have to go to Boston, the doctor, any other surgeons I went to go see, they're going to tell you, go back and see the guy that did this. Because after all, off the record, every surgeon's going to tell you they do not want to touch somebody else's work. If you're making a complaint, you need to go back to the person that did this. Off the record. Or on the record. You need to go back to them. They're not going to go and help you sue or whatever. They just tell you, you need to go back and see them. Now, off the record, we're going to help you. We're not supposed to because we know you got denied over there in New Hampshire. I feel bad for you. I agree with you. Yes, these don't look right. We're going to yank them out, restart over, and give you something better. That's what they're going to do in January of next year. That's the good thing. Now, these other surgeries I need, here's where you run up into another medical problem. Because anybody knows when you go get a surgery done, you're supposed to clean the area. That's the doctor's job before it's surgery. He's supposed to clean the area. Even if it's dirty, a guy hair or whatever, he's supposed to make sure the area is clean before he does procedure on the area wherever he's going to be opening at. Because after all, you don't want an infection. Even with hair, people, even with hair, you got to get that removed. The doctor's trained for that. I even found out, I called a guy in Philadelphia. He's the one that trained for some of the surgeries that I need done, even for facial feminization or bottom surgery. Yeah, you need to have that hair done. You need to have it gone, and it's up to the doctor. He really is supposed to be doing this. Because after all, let's just say he sends you to electrolysis, because that's what you need. You don't need a laser person that just laser hair removal. It has to be permanently gone. That's why they call it electrolysis, because there's a difference between a laser hair removal and electrolysis. Laser hair removal can remove the hair, but it's not permanent and it's not guaranteed. Okay? Laser electrolysis is permanently removing the hair after so many treatments, but it also costs more bucks. And that's where insurance does not cover. And that is wrong, people. That is wrong. Especially if the government, again, here's where we're going to get to the protocol again from civil rights and federal civil. Because civil rights, if you had to pay for this, you're paying $50,000 for a surgery that's not being completed all the way. And that is wrong, man, because you're paying that doctor a lot of money to do this surgery. He's supposed to be doing everything, not just leaving out something. And by rights, people, that surgeon doctor should be doing the laser hair removal. Because after all, I'm going to give you an example of another protocol. Because after all, the day of surgery, when you go and he starts looking around at you to make sure the area is clean and need to see is maybe some hair, we're going to have to stop. We can't do that. You need to go back to the electrolysis. Then, doctor, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you make sure you do this yourself or have somebody in your office that's trained and you know that person can do the job the way you want it done? That is the other protocol, people. And that's the biggie. He should be doing this anyways because it's all part of it. It's cleaning the area before your surgery. It's prepping before surgery. So, doctor, you need to be doing your job. And that's what I'm trying to fight up here again for our constitutional. Because, again, I'm being denied. And it's all over the United States, people. Because there is nobody practicing these laws in any state. Now, according to your government, you can Google search this. My audience that's viewing this, I am challenging you to Google everything I'm telling you because what I'm telling you is the honest God's truth. And if you would have hired me as a private licensed investigator, I could not lie. I'd have to come back and tell you everything that I'm telling you here is the absolute God's truth. Because after all, if your laws, even for the Obama Healthcare Affordable Act, Article 1557, underneath the Obama Healthcare Affordable Act, including the Department of Health and Human Services Act, Article 1557, has been violated twice on me already. Once here in the state of New Hampshire, and again in Boston. And it's not just here and there. It's all over the United States, people, because there is no lawyers around practicing these laws. This is why, like I said, I had to get the governor involved. I had to get the senators involved. Tried to get the congressman, but I'm sorry. These guys over here, if you would have used common sense, done some of your research, after all, you're up there. You're supposed to be helping us and protecting us on some of our medical rights. And you guys are supposed to know this stuff. But then again, this is where our laws are screwed up because there is no lawyers who's going to go against your government. And I'm going to get to you right here. Because after all, since I contacted the White House. See that letter there? And yes, you can see down at the bottom, it is Biden, our United States president. He had signed this, people. He wanted to know more information about the civil liabilities I found that are broken. Well, people, this is not a 5-minute phone call. I keep trying to tell Biden in letters, our presidency, this is not a 5-minute phone call. You need to know what's going on. After all, it took me 4 years of research to find out what I'm going to tell you is the truth. And this is where the presidency, who do you go to now when you got to talk about these broken laws? The Department of Justice. It could be any Department of Justice in any one of our states, because each one of our states should have a Department of Justice, like here in New Hampshire or Washington, California, wherever. You should guys have a Department of Justice in your area. They help make your laws. My cousin is a senator here in my state. She's a state senator. She even makes our laws. And when she called me up, she goes, "You're right, Alicia. You're right. Even if we put these laws in legacy, no lawyers have to represent them if they don't want to." People, who's protecting us? These are unprotected, uncontrolled, unforced laws. There is no lawyers on any of this. And I'm telling you this, and Biden knows this. President, you know this. You wrote me the letter. This from Biden. You see this state seal up there, or Washington's government seal, and his signature's written on the back, man. Electronic signature straight from Biden. I contacted them at the Department of Justice. We went head to head. It's not like we argued, but we had a good, talk about. It's almost like going to court. Because after all, like I even told them, he goes, "Well, you're good." I goes, "Yeah, my job is to help you, even getting you your evidence. That's a job as an investigator. These are the stuff I've done, man. And I'm supposed to be retired." But I found out is after I stumped him on the major question, and this is where I said, it's not civil no more. Civil where it's if you paid money. When I told him it's federal civil, he goes, "How do you figure?" How do I figure? Government money and insurance. That's how I figured it. Government money? Yeah, government money and insurance paid for this. So therefore, it makes it a federal civil matter. This is now in your ballpark. Is you sure about it? Yeah. He said, "I'm going to have to look into this now. Now you gave me a keen eye on it. I'm going to go talk to some people." Well, he called me back 5 days later and said, "Alicia, you're right. You need an attorney." I says, "Okay. Now we're going somewhere here. Are you guys going to represent me?" "No, we can't." "Yeah, I already know why." "Why?" "Because you guys represent the government. That's why. If we need a lawyer to go against the government, that is their lawyers, people. You hearing me? You hearing? That is their lawyers. Any other lawyer out here, if they represent a federal law, and if they don't do this case that I'm talking about, they will not go against your government, people, because that is their lawyers. And people, this is wrong. And this is where now it gets higher. Because like I said, where this is a federal civil matter, if your civil rights been violated, according to our Statute of Liberties, people, I'm challenging everybody that listens to this video and listens to me, because this is the truth. If your civil rights, and this is not just civil rights no more, this is civil federal. Because remember, it's not including our money. Even if it was our money, there is no lawyers on this. I just told you that. I called every bar. You can do the homework like I just did, but I'm telling you right now, I already did it for you. I already done beat you. Like I said, it took me 4 years to find out we got some broken laws in our country. And I'm telling you the honest God's fact. And this does not go for up here for transgender people. This for anybody. Because after all, cosmetic is anybody, not just transgenders or gays, lesbian, or anything. It can be anything. It can be for a cis person. A cis person is a person that's born in that gender. Well, it don't matter, man. I'm, either one of these, and for the public, I'm here to help you out, people. I'm giving you something to knowledge up here. So anyways, if you go in front of the government, because after all, you're going to let them know your civil federal rights have been violated. Now you don't get an attorney. You're going to go against the government by yourself? Good luck, man. Good luck. And this way I'm up here on TikTok or Facebook or now YouTube. I'm asking people, how many people are going through something like I'm going through? Can you relay with me? Because if you can, this is where we got a joint action, class action lawsuit against the government. Because after all, if your civil rights or your federal civil rights have been violated, you're supposed to be able to sue the government for millions and billions of dollars, people. And there's nobody sticking up on this. I've already done your homework. I'm telling you, people, I've called every single organization known to man. And like I said, I can't tell you anything against these constitutional rights. That's why he wants to know, Biden wants to know more information. And this is not a 5-minute phone call, man. I've called every single organization around. And again, this is also where it comes down to your civil rights. Because after all, you got denied medical in your area, in another area, wherever. You denied. And according to your statute of limitations, if you're denied medical, man, that's a big lawsuit and a half against government, people. That's millions and billions of dollars you're losing out on. And I'm here today trying to share this with you. And like I said, I can't tell you a lie. I can't lie to you. So people, this is true. This is true. Our nation's got a problem. I even called a hotline. They got a hotline for this, where people can call up and say, look, I got a problem. I can't even get no medical help. They got a hotline for this. And they're going to tell you what you can do and give you some leads. But that's all they can do. They're not there to, they're not like legal aid. 'Cause legal aid can't even touch this, people. This is a federal. This is also civil stuff. Legal aid does not deal in this. Nobody does. Like I said, GLAAD won't even touch it. And they're supposed to be for transgender people and whatever. They're not even doing this, people. This is why I'm out here doing this by myself. Why do you think I had to get the governor to get off of his seat? I had to get the governor to get out of his seat. That's a problem, people. I even tried telling this to news, but news didn't want to hear this because after all, there's nobody suing anybody here. How can you? How can you, news people? How can you sue anybody if there's no lawyers on this, people? And I'm telling you the honest God's truth right here. I'm not a hypocrite. I'm telling you the honest God's truth. Now, back in the days, people, I'm going to share with you something here. Because back in the days, you used to be able to go out and hold a sign. I'm 50-something years old. But we're talking back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. You used to go out there and hold a sign protesting. Protest for your rights. Try that these days, people. You're lucky enough our government's out here. Or maybe our store owner is out there advertising for something for sale or discounts or whatever. Or the politics when they're trying to elections time. But you go out there and try to do your rights now these days, man, you're going to get hit with loitering, obstructing justice if you don't know what you're talking about, noise violations, and God forbids if this breaks out into a big riot. All because you're out here trying to test your rights. People, you're looking at a lot of fines. Forget about your rights now. You got to pick up on this stuff here that you just got hit up with. The civil rights is going to have to wait now because now you got to worry about all this criminal stuff that you just got hit with. before you can go back and protest about here. But the way to do that now, and it's the only way I can think of, and that's why I'm glad YouTube is here, and I'm hoping TikTok stays around. You know, it's nice that we can go up on Facebook and do a live videos, but how many people is going to listen to us on Facebook? Right now on TikTok, I'm lucky enough. I'm following 3,000 followers. I only got about maybe over half that following me. But anyways, like I was saying, I called up a hotline on this. And I know that, the HIPAA law. You remember the HIPAA law? They can't tell you who. They can't tell you where or whatever. That's confidentiality. I understand that. But you can call them and ask them how many people. You listen to me? How many people are calling in on this particular topic? And they're going to ask me, how did you... I told you, I used to be a licensed private investigator. I told you how I fought for myself and how I'm good at advocating for myself. It's only because I used to be a licensed private investigator, and I don't take no for an answer. I don't. They told me the numbers are up in the thousands. I said, I kind of figured that. Now, the other day, I'm just going to give you an example here, because it's the truth. I was down at the store using my food stamps, buying some sandwiches at the deli, and as long as it's cold stuff, food stamps will pay for it. So I ordered some veggie subs. They do make some good veggie subs, that's for sure. Food stamps covers it. But the lady recognized me. She goes, I think I've seen you. She had to hurry up and come around the counter, out right in the middle of where I'm standing at, right in front of the, whatever you want to call it, the whatever you call it, where you ordered at the counter, She had to come around, grab me and hug me. I'm like, what's this for? You're Miss Alicia Casey, aren't you? I said, yes, ma'am, I am. I follow you up on TikTok. I guess, oh, okay, that explains it. She goes, yeah, I follow you. She goes, I have got to admire you for what you're doing. I also want to let you know, her 4 kids, babies, man, got denied medical right here in New Hampshire. That is wrong. And you can see where this is given into people. I cried when I got home, man. I cried. I cried not just for me. I cried for all of us. There's how many people, even babies now, babies. Come on, people. These are your constitutional rights, and there's no lawyers on this. This is the stuff we need to take to the government and sue the crap out of them. Get them to fix these laws, man. Article 1557, and I'm giving you guys one here. Go look it up. It's going to say no person shall be denied medical, especially if you meet all criteria underneath the Obama Health Affordable Care Act. Article 1557. It's been twice now I got denied. Man, if you can sue the government twice, man, that's a lot of money right there. I'd be making some cash in my pockets, man. But I'm not all about the cash. I want to help all of us to get our rights. Get what we need done. We need to stop this now, people. Because if we can't stop it now, look what's going to go on for our kids in the next generations, people. And that is wrong. They're going to pay for it on full if we don't do something now to stand up for our rights. And I'm not telling you to go out here and hold a sign, people. I'm telling you, anywhere in the United States, you try doing that, you're going to get hit for loitering. You're going to get hit for fines. You're better off, like I said, get on here. You can find people. I'm right here in New Hampshire. Hey, contact me here. Maybe we can meet up somewhere. We can figure this out. And like I said, we can also file a joint action lawsuit against government, man, we can hit them in the pocket. And I'm telling you, we can really break that pocket. And they're going to have to fix these laws. That's how to do it, people. Do it the right way. Don't go out here and be Superman or Superwoman thinking you can do this. And I'm telling you, I've already did the homework. I've gave you the knowledge right here today. I've shared something with you. And it took me 4 years by myself doing this. And I even just told you, if I had to get the governor out of his seat to help me out, that is a problem, people. That is a serious problem. And that's even what the federal senators told me and the state senator. Governors or that congressman, man, I like to give them props, but they're stuck up here somewhere, not in reality. Because if they did, they'd know what I'm saying is true now. Because after all, I had to get the governor to get out of his seat. Same thing, like I said, if you had to get the governor out of his seat, and if he can't do his job, you'd have to get the president down here. And I'm telling you that for the fact, people. And right now it's coming to that. You need the president down here. We need to get him to fix that Obama Healthcare Act. We need to get him put some liberty behind that. Because after all, there's no such liberty behind it. Nobody's protecting that laws. Nobody's protecting us. Nobody's protecting me. Nobody's protecting you. There is no lawyers. Drop me a comment. And if you're in the New Hampshire area, especially if you're close by, because I ain't got no way to get around right now. If you got a way to get over here, come see me. Leave me a message down here. I'll give you my email address. You know, like I said, I'm also on TikTok. I'm also on Facebook. You know I got privacy settings up on Facebook. But somehow get a word out to me. Because if you're in my area, if you're going through something similar like I'm going through, we got a class action suit, people. That's where we can hit the government at. We'll hit them in their pockets. But it's not just hitting them in the pockets. It's getting them to revise their law, to put some leverage behind it. Because after all, when Obama created that Affordable Health Care Act, he didn't create a system behind it. So if it's got violated, there's no lawyers on it. It's sad. I tried reaching out to our former President Obama back when he had a phone number. Yeah, you can actually call the phone number. But when I started calling, I was lucky. I called about 4 or 5 times. But then after I tried, that's it. The number's taken down. So makes you wonder, Obama, why didn't you get back to me? I left you messages. Biden, why didn't you get back to me? I've tried talking to you. I've even got your letter sitting here, sir. Mr. President, we need you. So if you're watching this, we need you. And you were just here in Concord, New Hampshire, just this month in November 2024. You were just here. You knew I've been trying to reach out to you. Why didn't you call me and be a guest speaker over there in Concord when you went to the college? I could have explained this to you better. That is wrong. You denied me my rights to explain this to you. You also denied hearing about our constitutional. What you said in this letter, you're really concerned? Well, if you are, why don't you reach out to me? Speak to me, Biden. Speak to me, Mr. President, please. Because after all, we've been denied. That is against my constitutional rights. Article 1557. Google it. Look at it. I've been denied. And you should know what I'm saying. I am right. There is no lawyers on this. And according to also your constitutional rights, if you've been violated, you're also supposed to report this to the local authorities. You can't report this to the police. They ain't going to hear about it. I tried reporting to the FBI. How do you figure it's federal? Man, come on, how is it not? This against your constitutional rights, man. This against your constitutional, where you can't even get medical. That's how, because this is a federal matter. Then on top of that, government money being used was taken for granted. That's how. That's government money. This is not federal to you guys. Boy, you guys got some problems going up here, guys. And like I said, I got a letter here to back me up. Because Biden already wants to know more our presidency. This is what's going to save me from going to jail. Right here, people. It's addressed to me. See that there? Miss Alicia Casey? See that, people? I'm going to hold it up there for a few minutes so you guys can read this. Like I said, Biden is congratulating on me on the findings, and he says how he's concerned to knowing more in detail. And again, I'm going to show this again to you. That's our presidency signature. It's authenticated, people. I hang this up on my wall, man. I discovered here something, and I'm sharing it with you guys. I cry every day and every night. I love you guys. I'm hoping you all going to contact me. And if you guys look at my other channel up here on TikTok or YouTube, you'll notice I'm up here even about another matter. Keanu Reeves. Well, I feel bad because I got taken advantage of on that. You guys want to know more? Go there and check it out. Like I said, I discovered something over there. But somebody had to pull a fast one to get me believe that I was talking to the real man himself. Now the question is, was I talking to the real man? Go hear it. Was I talking to him? I don't know, man. Who would make you have a 7-month relationship with somebody, chat with them days, nights, weekends, whatever? That's a long time to chat with somebody for 7 months. And then at the 7th month is when you're going to start pulling your crime stuff. Man, it makes you wonder. Go listen to it, people. Because like I said, Keanu is not up here on social medias, but he will watch them. So Keanu, if you're out here watching this, you need to check out my channels. You need to come see me, because I'm calling you out, mister. Because after all, either you or your imposter is doing this, and I got a lot of evidence in my phone. And you should have heard what I had here, say it here today, and I'm making a lot of sense, people. And Keanu, if you listen to this, you should know I'm not stupid up here. And I won't be telling no lies. Somebody's either doing this unless you're doing it yourself. But you should be coming to that door. You should be coming to see me. We need to sit and have a talk. I don't mind making you a dinner. Come to see me. I love you. Peace out, guys. Like I said, give me a thumbs up. I'm sorry so long on a video, but I know somebody told me I should have just cut it down a little small. But come on, you can't. Because after all, this is really serious matter when you come to your federal constitutional rights. You can't just a 5-minute thing on this, man. You can't. Because after all, people's going to have questions, concerns. And I just explained everything right here. I wrapped it up and summed it up. It took me 4 years. Like I said, I bet everything I'm telling you is all backed up in a phone book. Like I said, I called every lawyer in the United States. Like I said, you got 50 states here, maybe then some. But, man, I've called every bar in every state. I've called every capital. I've called a lot of lawyers around in every single state, and they're going to tell you the same thing. Since it's a cosmetic issue, it's hard to fight it. That's what they're going to tell you. But, man, I gave you some serious protocols here today. Get me up in front of that grand jury. You don't think the grand jury's going to side with us? One way or the other, doctor should have stopped, man. That's standard protocol. If it's not coming out, You should not be charging anybody for something you cannot do, especially if it's not looking right. That's wrong. That is a crime itself, people. And I'm telling you the honest God's truth. And it's a shame that there's no lawyers on this. And it's a shame these lawyers must be stupid or something are up here. Because I just shared with you a lot of knowledge here, people. Even to your lawyers, you better listen up here. As I'm telling you, what I'm telling you is the truth. I done Google searched everything, man. And like I said, get me up in front of that jury. You don't think the jury's going to side with us? Damn straight they will. I don't care what kind of PhD you have. Man, standard protocol tells you should have stopped. Sent me back to recovery, gave me the option. Because after all, I didn't order this. You know, it's almost like a steak dinner. You go have a nice steak restaurant. What is somebody going to do? Just take it out of the freezer, pour some hot sauce over it, or the hot gravy stuff, and it looks, when you come see it, boy, it sure does smell good. But when you try to cut into it, hey, dear, look, this thing's still alive. Send this back to the kitchen. Well, same thing here, guys. We got frauded on this. The government got frauded. And I'm telling you, even with cosmetic surgery, they should be cleaning the area. That includes laser electrolysis. They should be cleaning the area. The doctors, listen to me up here. You doctors ought to be doing your job. For $40,000 or $50,000 job, out of pocket paying for something, man, you better be doing your job, man. Like I said, that's just paying cash. Now, for that surgery I just told you about, $50,000, that's for a downstairs job. And I'm not going to, you all know what I'm talking about. It's a downstairs job. On the face, it's about $45,000 when they re-break and shape the nose and do all this. Now, if your nose is like mine, been busting out, I can't breathe out of my nose. My nose been broken 19 times. I got a severe deviated congestive system. And that's another reason why I don't sound feminine. But you try holding your nose and you're going to see what you're going to sound like. Not too feminine, are you? Try to talk and breathe at the same time. Man, try to eat and breathe at the same. Man, there's times I almost need a Heimlich maneuver, people. It's kind of hard to eat and breathe at the same time when you ain't got this. This is a deformed thing up here, and you can see how many humps and bumps, and I know it's crooked like a Z up there. I got a severe deviated congestive system, and I need surgery, and I'm being denied, man, because you need electrolysis done, or you need electrolysis done, and either $45,000, a lot of money, man, or $50,000, that's a lot of money. Now, government money for down there, $50,000, they're not paying that, man. They're paying 4 to 5 times the amount. You're looking almost $500,000, maybe more. And you guys are getting, I'm sorry, you guys are getting ripped because the doctor's not doing his job. He's not doing electrolysis. And yet you guys are paying $500,000 or more on a surgery that's not even being done. Doctor, why don't you give me some back to that some money so I can go get this done? And you tell me where you want to get it done at, and that's way I know it's going to be done right. As if not, you should be doing this, doctor. And that's the honest God's truth. That way you know it's done right, and you don't have to worry about the day of surgery. Because you know either you did it, or your colleague, or somebody in your office did it. That's the way it should have been done. And I'm sorry, people, but that's the honest God's truth, especially for that kind of money you're paying for. Even for the government. You guys ought to be listening to what I'm saying, Mr. Government's here. Because what I'm telling you is the honest God's truth. You guys are getting ripped. Peace out.